Hi, I'm Jackie Barnes, or Dr. Barnes, and I work at TDS. You may have seen me around. I wanted to show you a brief video on how to open a Google Meet session and how to use some of the features and the chat box. You might be getting some invitations to use Google Meet for your morning meetings or for some classes that you're having lately. So I wanted to take you just through the basics. Let me share my screen. You might be getting your invitations for Google Meet through a few different places. It might be through a calendar invite. You might get an email about it. This is one that I sent, so this is what it might look like. It might be an email invitation, or it might be a link to an event that you'll click on to join. You see this link here, which has these funky letters at the end. This is sort of the permanent link or the room that you'll join to join the meeting. You might have the same link for each day. So that's possible. This same link will work if I join it tomorrow. Your teacher might have you join the same link for each day or each class, and that's totally possible. Or they might send a new one. I'm not sure, depending on the teacher. So once you hit join meeting, you will have a screen that looks something like this. This just allows you to make sure that your camera is working and is on, the webcam on your device, if you want to use that. So you have the option here to turn off your camera if you want. You can make sure that's working. You can make sure that your hair is sticking straight up, that you're fine with the camera being on. If you do want to turn it off, you can turn off the camera with this sort of video camera icon button. If you want to mute yourself, you could mute yourself with this microphone button. You'll have the option to do both of those things as well once you join the meeting. So once you join the meeting, once you hit join now, it will look more like this. This is what my screen looks like right now. And for you, it should look about the same. So you have these buttons at the bottom. That will be the most important. Again, you could turn off your camera if you decide to at this point, or you could keep it on. You can mute yourself if you want to, or keep it on. Some reasons you might want to mute yourself is if you have a lot of background noise. So you want to think about being a good participant. If your class is all together and all of you have noise in the background, or if you're all trying to speak at once, that's a lot of people speaking at once. And so it can be overwhelming for your teacher to try to hear all of you speaking. So one thing they might ask you to do is to mute your microphone unless you have a question to ask. That might be something they ask you to do. Another thing that you can see in this button over here, there's a button that says, well, it looks like a couple people there. And in your class, it will have all the participants in this area. Right now, it's just me because I'm here by myself in this meeting. But it should have your classmates here, anyone else who is in the meeting. You also have an option here. It says chat. So this is kind of important because if you're in a meeting with lots of people and they're all speaking at once, that can be really loud and it can be really tough for your teacher to hear you talk. So one thing they might ask you to do is to ask your questions in this chat box. So if you have a question for your teacher, one thing you might need to practice is in this chat box, typing it out for them. They'll be able to see it right away. So if you put in something like, could you say that again? Then they'll be able to see that without you saying anything, and then they can repeat what they just said. This is a really nice feature because, again, you don't want everyone shouting out at once. So this is a great way to ask your question in the chat box. Another way to be a good participant is to not put things in here that are distracting or that are inappropriate. So keep in mind that as well. This is not your spot to chat with your friends about their weekend. That's not the place for it. This is supposed to be for things that you need to communicate for class. It's not, it's not recess time in the chat box. You also don't want to type in things that are inappropriate or things that shouldn't be discussed in a regular class. You're treating this like it's your classroom as best as you can. Okay. I hope that was helpful. If you want to leave the meeting or after your class is done, you're going to click this leave call button. And yeah, you'll kind of do the same thing as you're joining each class each day. I'm going to stop presenting here. I hope that was helpful. It's really important for you to know both how to mute yourself and then how to use the chat box for your classes, because as I said, when a lot of people are talking at the camera all at once, it's going to be really tough for your teacher to hear you. So keep that in mind and good luck. Have a good day.